And that's going to be a not win. One thing that's also changing, I'm noticing, is our profit. We just keep on climbing. There's a win, guys. We got it. Nice. Hello, Wheel Masters, and welcome back to Mastering the Wheel. Today is day 11 of our bankroll building challenge, which means we are playing with house money today. So that's a great feeling. So if we lose, hopefully we don't, but if we do, it's not even our own money, so it almost doesn't matter. But let's try to make some money rather than lose it, right? So today is also a special date because, well, it's Friday, and today I'm dropping the new version of Betmaster 1.4.0. And the unique thing about this version is that there's now a new betting option. We can now use it to bet on numbers and neighbors. So I'm going to be building a strategy around that today to showcase the new feature in Betmaster, and the new version of Betmaster drops tonight at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So yeah, let's just get right into it, and I'll show you what it can do, and we'll play some roulette. But before we do, if you guys don't mind hitting that subscribe button and the like button, it does help out the channel a great deal, and I do very much appreciate it. So thank you so much for that. All right, so let's bring this right front and center and get started. We're going to build the progression in the bets tab. I'm just going to go right to create. And we'll name this, I already have the strategy that I want to do in mind, and it really does depend a lot on the dealer today. So I'm going to call this Thank You Dealer. All right, and we'll fill in the stop loss and stop win and all that right after we're done with the progression. We'll get our numbers after we build. And I'm just going to go right into the Edit tab and start by changing this to any group wins. And then here's the new option right here under Bet Type, Numbers and Neighbors. So I'm going to select that. And you'll see when I do, these two options open up here. So we're going to choose how many neighbors we bet on. So I'm going to start by changing this to 3. That means 3 numbers to the left and 3 numbers to the right of our target number. And now a unique thing about this here is this option is going to allow us to bet on the numbers directly across the wheel from our target numbers. And the reason I put this option here is because when I'm watching the wheel and I'm looking at, when the number is hit, often when the dealer releases the ball, it lands in one of 2 places, back in the same area that he released it from, or right across the wheel from it. Now, of course, not always like clockwork. I just picked up on that and I thought, well, you know what, that might be a cool feature to add just to, target some extra numbers. So I'm going to select that. So now we've got a 14 number coverage, okay? And the number that we're going to be targeting is the last one to hit, because that's where the dealer is going to be launching the ball from. So last one to hit, and that's it. And then now for the quantity, we're going to be leaving that to the way it is, because this is our target. And we're going to be targeting one target number, and then everything here takes care of the rest. We're going to be doing the neighbors and the numbers across from it. So we can leave this as 1. And then for starting bet, I'm going to be using 10-cent units to start. And everything else can stay the same. If we win, we reset to level 1. And if we lose, we go to the next level. Okay. So I'm just going to double check and make sure it's all good, and it does look good. Perfect. So I'm going to save that, and now I'll copy that level. Now we are going to be using a Fibonacci sequence, and so the first 2 levels in the Fibonacci are usually the base unit, so 1 and then 1. So I'll copy the last level again, and now on the 3rd level, so for those of you who don't know what the Fibonacci sequence is, it's basically where you take the sum of the last 2 bets, and the value of that will equal your next bet. So our last 2 bets are 1 and 1, so 1 plus 1 is 2, so this bet will be 2. And then we'll save that, and then 2 plus 1 is 3. So our next bet will be 3 units. And then 3 plus 2 is 5. I think you get the idea. And then 8. And then 13. And then 21. And then 34. And then 55. Now this is the last level, so the progression has 10 levels in it, and at this level, we don't want it to continue betting if we happen to lose. So I'm going to have it stop placing bets. So I'll set the win-lose condition to stop placing bets, and that's everything. So now we've got the progression built. I'm going to go ahead and save that, and then we'll save the profile. And And now we're going to go back in and grab some numbers. So right here, this is the cumulative loss. So $220. That's what this progression is going to cost us if we lose. So that's the bankroll required. So I'm going to go back here into general settings and put the stop loss at $200.20. That was the grand total. And we're looking to make, so I usually go 20%. I'm going to go, 10%. We're going to go 12.5% today. I'm going to make the $25 that I've been making every day. So it's a little bit above what we normally go for in terms of, our target, our financial target. But still, we always have a spin target. And I'm going to show you guys how we're going to analyze this strategy in a second. So we're going to go for $25 as a stop win and leave everything else the same. So I'm going to save that. And now, before we do get into this, like I just said, we're going to analyze the strategy. As you guys know, if you've been watching the channel, I like to give every strategy a risk profile, and that tells me how many spins I should stay for. That number is more important than my financial target. If I reach the spin goal before my financial goal, that's when I leave, because as everybody knows, if you stay at the wheel too long, you lose, right? So we give ourselves a window to work within. So my program BetMaster has that built right into it. But I've got a new tool that's sort of externalized from BetMaster. And the difference is in BetMaster, you actually have to build the progression before you get these numbers. Whereas this tool just allows you to, if you have an idea of what you want to do, number coverage and how many attempts you'll have, you can just plug those numbers right into this tool and it'll give you the risk profile. So you can decide before you even build the strategy if it's worth playing or what the risk profile is. So this tool actually came to me from one of our BetMaster members, Kevin, who gave me some code about a week ago, and he said, hey, can you check the math on this? So I checked it out, and I knew right away what it was. So it's the formula that I use in BetMaster to give a profile to a strategy. So anyways, it's very handy because it's external from BetMaster now, and you don't even have to build a progression to give a progression a risk assessment. So I'm going to do that right now, show you this really cool tool, and then we're going to go ahead and play some play some roulette. So this is the tool right here, and I'll just minimize BetMaster for a second. And so it's very simple. All we do is plug in some numbers. So today's progression is 14 numbers. So I'm just going to go 14 like that. So you can see numbers covered, 14. It automatically calculates everything else. Numbers not covered is 23. The numbers in the wheel we're using is 37, but you could change this to 38 if you were playing on an American roulette wheel. And then down here it tells us the probability of winning, 37.8 or 0.3784%, and 0.6216% if you of losing. These are your probabilities of winning and losing. And then down here, we can add the amount of levels that our progression has. So today we have a 10-level progression. So now we're going to get our risk assessment. And this is it right here. So the window, or the average fail rate of 14 numbers is 304 spins. So on average, you can expect a system betting on 14 numbers to fail every 304 spins. Of course, not on cue, just the average, right, over a large sample, but it just gives us an idea of the risk. So this isn't bad. And then we get 61 spins to operate within. That is 20% of 304. So that's the window that we're going to leave if we hit that number first before our financial target. But I'm going to round that down to 60 spins. So basically, at 60 spins, we leave no matter what. Hopefully we make our financial target before that number. So I just wanted to show you guys that tool. That's how we analyze this strategy, and these are the numbers that we have for playing with this strategy here, and I called it Thank You Dealer. So let's go back to the roulette wheel and start playing some roulette. Now first, I just have to start a session, and for this session, we're going to call it Bankroll Build Day 11. And for this strategy, we needed $200.20, so we'll just give ourselves that. And we're ready to go. I'll just wait for this next spin to pass and just double check everything is okay. And oh, one thing I forgot to do is start data collection. I guess that would help. We do need some numbers in there. And there we go. That last spin was detected. Now, one thing about the strategy is that there's no data required to make decisions because we are relying on the last spin detected, right? Last one to hit is what we're betting on. So we just need to collect data so the program knows what was hit, and that's everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and launch this, and let's see what happens. Looking to make $25 in 60 spins or less. And the bets should be placed any second. And there they go. Okay, so we've got $1.40 on the table. 14 numbers are bet on, and let's see how we can perform here. And you can see on the racetrack, bets are right across from each other. And that's going to be a not win. So we're off to level 2. Now, with this strategy, betting on 14 numbers, our average hit rate should be around 37%, give or take. So let's hope that we can keep those kind of numbers. And also, the one thing I want to mention too about using the math on this strategy is, so I find that those formulas work best when you're working on more of a fixed group of numbers. The math just gives you an idea. But if your numbers are always moving around, it can change and turn them into more of it becomes a little bit more random. But it still just gives you an idea of how often 14 or 18 numbers or whatever will fail in. And there we go, guys. We just got a win. Perfect. Yeah, like with my strategy hottest 18, the numbers, they move around a little bit, but only one number here, one number there as new results are coming in, as the heat map is changing. But when it comes to like this strategy, our whole betting field is changing on a per spin basis sometimes, right? Depending on the last spin. So it's really hard to create a mathematical model for that. All we can really do is get sort of a general idea. And that's what the formula did for this, right? On average, it'll fail every 300 spins, but that's, it just gives us an idea, like I keep saying. All right, so on to level 2 again. We didn't get that last win. And we can expect to lose just under half of our spins because we are only betting on 37% of the wheel, right? And number 19, oh, that was really close. Right beside where we were betting. That's all right, level 3. So if you guys are new to the channel or haven't seen Betmaster before, if you're curious, you can go check it out. The program is available at www.betmaster-data.com, and there's an FAQ there that should answer all of your questions. But if it doesn't, feel free to ask any questions in the comment. I'm happy to answer them. And we also have a Discord. Both links for Betmaster and Discord are in the description. You can join our Discord and check out and see what other people are saying about Betmaster. We have many Betmaster members on the server, so come check it out. Everyone's welcome. And look at that, we just got another win. That'll be a nice reset. So yeah, please do come join the Discord server and see what everybody's saying about the program. If if you want to give yourself an edge in roulette and help you stay disciplined when you play, Betmaster is a great tool for that. There's many advantages to using this tool. For starters, giving yourself a risk profile on a strategy. Betmaster lets you know when you're coming to the limit of your strategy, right? Or how long you can stay at the table for. Knowing those numbers are important, as we all know. If you stay too long, the wheel can bite, right? So keeping up with how long you're there really does help, having that information right in front of you. And then, of course, using strategies that bet on heat, or using data-based strategies where you require or rely on the data to make your decisions. Betmaster offers data in all kinds of ways. I'm sure you guys have seen. If you haven't, watch my previous videos on how I use data to make decisions. Especially following heat, because it does make a difference over long periods of time. Heat. I know there's a lot of debate on whether hot numbers make a difference or not, and I'll tell you on an RNG it doesn't make a difference at all. But when you're playing at a live wheel, it does over large samples of spins. Though on a session by session basis, you can see that it doesn't make a difference all the time. But after looking at the data, there's no question that betting where the ball is landing does make a difference. And even if you can get a 2 or 3% advantage in roulette, that's huge, right? Over time. So I can't get enough data when it comes to playing roulette, and I feel vulnerable if I don't use a tool to play the game. So yeah, so check out Betmaster. It's a great roulette enhancer. That's what it does. It really enhances your experience and changes the game. If you are new to the channel, I'll give you a quick look here while we're in between spins. I can show you, like in the Advanced Stats tab. So right now we don't have 37 spins. There's not many spins, so there's not a whole lot of data. But this is the heat map for every number that's been hit right now, and they're very red because they've all been hit in 37 spins. But as you collect more data, the different shades, the different each number has a different shade based on its hit frequency. So that's good information to have. And then on top of that, we can get like statistics. For example, I'll open up every, so we've got like, single numbers, splits. You can see like all of the numbers that have been hit. So you can see that they're hot splits, but they're not really hot yet. We don't have enough information to make that determination. And then streets, corners, and double streets, right? Like if you were betting on double streets, based on what you see here, you'd want to be betting on the right side, not the left, right? But again, there's not really enough information to make a database decision right now. I'm just sort of giving you an idea of the kind of info that we grab. But right after this bet, and we're doing great, by the way, I'm just noticing we just hit 50%, which is a nice average considering we're hitting only or betting on 14 numbers. So we looked at all the bet types. Now we're back to individual numbers. And if I open up this text stats tab right here, I'll just move this off to the side to keep it out of the way. And I'll drag this down a bit. And then let's move some of these over so you can see all of the information that we're grabbing. But yeah, so what you see there are, so each individual number, the amount of time the number's been hit, the percentage. I'm going to let go of the cursor for a second, but that number beside the percentage is called max drought, and that's the longest a number has gone without being hit. And then beside that is the last time that it was hit, and then the average time that the number has been hit. Number average right over here. And now I can filter these in individual numbers by wheel order if I want, or we can go hot, which is normally what I do. And this gives us the hot list. So like the number 30, well, all of these have all been hit once. There's nothing really special about this information yet because we're still very early, but maybe we'll see something anomalous come up. Probably not. We're only going to be here for 60 spins. That's still not a whole lot of data to make database decisions or determine what's really hot. There's still a lot of variance at that level. I usually like to grab my my heat sample from at least a pool or around a pool of around 74 spins. But yeah, and every wheel type, or sorry, every bet type has this kind of information. Like if I were to click on, say, streets, right, and then I'll go ahead and open up the heat map for streets. So now same information, only broken down into streets, right? I can drag this out, and now we've got all 12 streets. So I can filter them by hot, and now you can see what streets have been hit most frequently. Now you can see a difference, like street 10 has been hit 3 times in the last, I'll get the spin count for you in just a second, but we're not very far in. But essentially a street should be hit on average once every 12 spins, right? And so let's see what the average is for street number 10. So it's been hit on average 1 every 5 spins, so just over twice of its expected hit rate, right? So that can be an advantage if this is where you find out what's been hitting way above average, and you might want to target your bets on those locations, right? Like if I were betting on 9 streets, for example, I wouldn't just randomly place my bets on any street. I would look at the heat map for 9 streets, or I would look at the heat map for streets and place my bets on the streets that have been hitting most frequently. So just another way you can use the information you get from Betmaster. And it goes the same thing for, like, if we're going to be looking at corners. right? Here's the corners map. If I were betting on corners, I would place my bets on all of these hot corners, anything red, right? I wouldn't bet on any more than 7 corners at the most, because once you start betting on 8 corners, depending on the betting progression you're using, how you're placing your bets, or the value of your bets, but you can't really, if you're doubling your bet, you're not going to really make money if you're betting on 8 corners. So unless they overlap, of course, then there's bonus potential. But individually, it's not really going to work. But yeah, just really cool information that you can grab from the program to make database decisions. So I just wanted to show you guys all of that. And how are we doing now? So we're right on average. We're, well, just above average, I should say, almost 10%, 46.7%. And we are at, well, we have a session high of $10. So we're almost halfway to our goal. And there's another win. Wow, we're doing great, guys. I mean, we haven't even gone down past, I think, by the looks of it, level 3 is the highest we've had to go so far. So we're doing great. Considering we have 10 levels to this progression, we haven't even tickled it yet. And after that last win, we're back up to 50%. And 10, another win. Nice. Yeah, so that analyzing tool that I showed you guys, I'm going to be putting that up on the website soon. I'm still working on other projects right now, but I'm going to get to it, and that tool will be available. I think I'm going to make it available to everybody. You can just go and download the tool and use it, so you can analyze your own strategies. And I do want to. I meant to do it earlier when I was introducing the program or the tool. But a big thank you to Kevin for, like, as simple as the idea seemed, pull, because I've got the logic built right in Betmaster, and I've always just built progressions right inside Betmaster and analyzed them through there. But having it outside of Betmaster and just being able to analyze a progression before you even build it is a great idea, very handy to have. So a big thank you to Kevin for throwing that my way, and I'm going to make it available. So yeah, and you guys can analyze your strategies. Now, it works best for, a straightforward strategy like this, for example. The number coverage never expands or contracts, and the progression is straightforward. So it's easiest to get, the mathematical model for that put into it, because it's simple: X amount of numbers, X amount of attempts. But if you're using a progression that has, let's say, I don't know, if you're betting on streets and splits, right? So for something like that, I would calculate the probability of each one individually, the amount of levels you have with your streets, the amount of levels you have with your splits, how many numbers each one covers, and then grab those two numbers that you would get, the risk for each one, add them together, and then divide it by 2 to get kind of an average risk assessment. And again, these models, they're just to give you a general idea, right? And nothing happens on cue in roulette. That's the random part of it. Although it is governed by probability, and everything will happen within its expected probability, we can't control the distribution, right? I wish. All right, and that last one was a loss, and so is this one. Okay, so now we're going deeper. Now we're starting to test the progression. We're going down to level 5. 42.9% win rate, and we have a bankroll high, or a session high, of $13. So we're just over half of where we need to be. And really, I mean, we're doing great. We're just over 20 spins right now. We're at 20. This is 22 spins we're on. So we still have lots of spins left in our budget. And there we go. Nice recovery. Perfect. So just over $10 left to go, guys. 22 spins in on 23, 45.5% hit rate. We are hitting above average, which is nice. If you've been watching my bankroll building challenge, the last few sessions haven't exactly ended in our favor when it comes to the hit rate. We were betting on 48% of the wheel and hitting it like 37%, which is like, ouch, right? And we were betting on the hot parts too, you know, like I always say, that doesn't always make a difference. But you know, we still walked away with profit, and that really is the end goal. The two pillars that I stand on when it comes to playing roulette are when to enter and when to leave. Right now, we all know that when to leave is crucial, because everybody knows if you stay at the wheel too long, you get bit, right? But when to enter, I mean, now, and this progression is an exception, because we're not using data to make our decision. I suppose I could have waited for a system failure, which is one of my favorite triggers, to enter this. But just because the numbers are so dynamic and it's really impossible to pinpoint when, you know, the dealer's not going to have the ball land, you know, where you want, rather than betting on hot numbers. That's why I didn't bother using a trigger with this progression. I just jumped in, because although I still like to take a mathematical approach to this, like giving ourselves the 60 spin window, you know, the failure rate of this system can really be more random, I think, than any other system, because of how dynamic the betting field is. Right? It's always changing. But one thing that's also changing, I'm noticing, is our profit. We just keep on climbing. We're hitting and hitting. We're at a 52% hit rate right now, and $20.80. So we're just a couple spins away from hitting our target. That's great, guys. We are just rocking right now with a 60 spin window. We're on spin number 26, so we haven't even gotten to the halfway point of our budget. So that's really nice. But yeah, you know, ultimately entry points are crucial on a lot of strategies. If you understand when a strategy should fail, by waiting for that strategy to fail before you actually start placing bets, I think is one of the best ways you can do it, because the chances of the strategy failing two consecutive times is very rare. And you know, even though it's possible, it's still less likely. It just comes down to compound probability. That's why, you know, rare events are considered rare events. And if something is going to happen on average 1 every 216 spins, that's pretty much what it's going to happen to. Not to say it can't happen back to back; it absolutely can. But just the fact that it's a rare event and its probability of happening in X amount of spins is where it's likely going to happen. And so waiting for that event to happen first and then jumping in, you're not. And this is what differentiates gambler's fallacy from probability, because we're not expecting anything to come. Like, nothing is due, right? There's nothing due, and anything can happen. And I think we all understand that. But the chances of a rare event happening two consecutive times, right, is really that's the mathematical based approach. And you really can't argue with the fact that if something is statistically unlikely to happen, there's a reason for that, right? And the chances of that statistical unlikeliness happening two consecutive times, that's just math, and that's just the way it works, right? And so entering at that moment, you have a statistically opportune moment to enter, and you give yourself a small window to operate in, so that way you can get in and get out before that unlikely event happens again, because the more spins you stay in for, the closer you get to that event being more probable to happen, right? Does that make sense? So I actually just wrote an article on the mathematical theory behind roulette and probability. You can go check that out, and in the roulette lab at Betmaster, at the Betmaster website, so www.betmaster-data.com, and check out the roulette lab. And there's an article in there that breaks down all of this and how you can use the information about taking a mathematical approach and applying it to your game, so you can gain an advantage over roulette by using these mathematical theories when you apply them. So I've been working on this for a little while, and I finally managed to get it on paper, and well, on paper in my computer, and I put it up on the website. So check that out. It's a good piece of information. And we are almost there, guys. I think we might be one win away from, let's see, what do we make on a hit? I think it's $2.20. We might need 2 more spins to put this in the bag. But good. We're 30 spins in. We are at the halfway point, 46.7% hit rate. So we're just about 10% over what we're expected to be. Now, if we were going for 10%, we would have hit our goal already, and we should have stopped. But I've been keeping up with the 25% or $25 for the bankroll building challenge, so I just wanted to keep up with that. The extra 2.5%, not a big deal, and we've got a good spin window. So, and as you can see, we haven't even tickled our budget yet. We're only halfway there, so we're doing great. And this is going to be our last win, guys. We just need to bag one more, and we're home free. And that'll be the end of day 11, and the bankroll building challenge continues. We keep on growing. We started with a modest risk of $230 and built it up into this, and there's a win, guys. We got it. Nice. So that was really easy, guys. I mean, we hardly even broke a sweat. And the program, as you can see, automatically stopped placing bets. We hit our stop win. We are now at $646 in the account, and we keep on building. So yeah, let me know what you guys think of the strategy, of all the information I gave you guys today. I'm really trying to help you guys enhance your game. And if you really do want a game enhancer, check out Betmaster. It absolutely does change your game. So www.betmaster-data.com. Go check it out. Join our Discord. I look forward to seeing you guys there. And on that note, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. And all of the likes and comments and subscriptions, they really do mean a lot to me. So thank you guys for that too. Have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.
Still spin free, but I'm playing with data. Betmaster on the screen, now the odds look greater. Track every move, every dealer rotation. Starting in session with calculation. Still spin free. Knowledge my edge, not hope, not luck. Just numbers I pledge when the window is done. I'm done with the play. That's how you survive and get paid in this game.